Hello everyone, it's time for another long-awaited, well, by me, unboxing video. That's the one. You can tell I'm not long out of bed, can't you? I have bought myself a Google Pixel 11 Pro. The reason is I have finally conceded with a degree of sadness that Sony screens are not bright enough in the sunlight, and I think we're only going to get more and more sunlight every year, which is a horrible thought, but that's the situation. So I have decided to go for a Google Pixel. I never thought I'd be excited to buy a Google Pixel because in the past their phones have been very mediocre, and you looked at the specs and you're like, nah, let me just get my usual flagship phone. But they seem to be trying so hard. I know in general Google are a fairly evil company, but with the phones this year, bearing in mind the RAM crisis, this phone costs roughly the same as my Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6 did 2 years ago. Now, don't tell me that Google have not absorbed some of the cost of that, because I think they have. So I'm going to get this open now. It's really tightly packed in the side there. So I'm going to get this out and we'll see what's inside. Well, I think we know that already, but I finally get to hold a normal sized phone again, more or less. It's not as small as I would have liked, but it's getting there. And to give you some impression of how silly phone sizes are these days, my current Sony phone runs the entire length of this box. So, it wasn't good. Anyway. Okay, I finally got it out of the box. And let's hopefully just lift this off and it will easily come out the box. There is the back of the phone. Well, almost. Minimal packaging. Oh, you even get a little USB cable. So that's nice. That's definitely a rarity. Of course, you're never going to get a charger, are you? Because those days are long gone. We must be kind to the environment, which is why there's still so many plugs in the world, and yet they won't give you another one. Anyway, I'm trying not to get my reflection in this screen. This is the first time, obviously. I hope my audio is coming out alright though. This is a weird kind of a colour. It's called fog. But, well, maybe I do think of fog when I see this. Yes. I've already got my screen protectors for the lens, so that would be nice to put on. Why is there a mark there? Oh, okay. It's actually a hole. Okay, that's good. Anyway, let me just test. Oh, yes. I may even be able to type one-handed again. that would be a joy. It's going to be a little bit of an effort to reach. Anyway, the Pro version has 16 gigabytes of RAM in, so this is probably more expensive per ounce than gold right now. Thank you very much, AI companies, for that. Probably Google included, actually. And it has 512 gigabytes storage, which is pretty much, I'd say, the minimum that I'm going to get away with for my videos and photos and games. So, how well this phone runs the games remains to be seen. I like the metal edging there. That feels, looks very posh. Feels very posh as well. Gonna get my screen protector on very soon. The other reason I bought this phone was because Google have finally ditched their relationship with Samsung for the modem. And I don't know if you're aware of this, because certainly all these phone review channels, you know, the ones with the millions of subscribers that are desperate to set their video to live the very second that the phone launch ends. But what those reviewers will never tell you is that the Samsung Foundry, the quality there is, and the yield, the chip yield, is so poor that they've lost contracts with, let me try and think now, the main ones. AMD, Nvidia, Sony, I think, used them at one point. Google, certainly. Qualcomm. And that's just the big ones. And they've all moved their source of production to TSMC. I think that's the right way around for those letters. It's very early in the day for me. My point is, Samsung quality is very poor. Now, of course, you'll never get told this by the big multi-million subscriber channels, because they need to be sent their little preview phones, and Samsung are never going to do that if they tell the truth about how poor quality Samsung actually is. So if you're trying to get an impression or an idea of which phone to go for, what you should never do is listen to what those massive channels say. And I'm not just saying this to say, oh, listen to me instead with my tiny little channel. I'm saying listen to me and anyone else that isn't a massive phone reviewer, because they don't really tell you much, and also they're getting sent preview phones. What you have to remember about that is that won't really reflect what you're actually buying yourself, because preview phones have not been updated with the latest firmware and all the little fixes and stuff. So what they're reviewing is not even what you're going to be buying. Not that they will ever mention that, of course, because well, they've got millions of subscribers and lots of money in ad revenue and sponsorships. So I have none of that, so I'm afraid I can only tell you the truth. That's maybe a luxury that they can't afford. So bear that in mind. Never base your buying decisions off of a reviewer, because they're not even reviewing the final product. So always worth bearing in mind. But I'm excited to set my Google Pixel 11 Pro up. I would not have considered buying the base model, because I think that only came with, oh, was it? It's 128 or 256, but that's storage capacity. But either way, it's just not enough for my needs, because I do like to try out all sorts of games, and most games these days are very space hungry. That being said, I hope you have enjoyed an early look at the phone, which has been sent out to everyone who pre-ordered by Google on their site, which I did today. So, got it delivered by DPD, and I feel lucky to have actually received it, because the driver, I think the exact driver that I had, the last thing that DPD were due to deliver, he falsified the delivery attempt, so that was fun. But luckily, he decided he'd actually try and deliver it to me today, so hooray. I've got a couple of phone cases, clear ones from Google. I swear I only remember ordering one, but they've sent me two. But maybe in my excitement and my tiredness, I just clicked and ended up with two. But never mind. So there's my Google case. Google by Google. Oh my god. It's a hard case. Oh my god. I was hoping it was going to be a gel case. But, well, I've got to put something on there. So, it's going to be this for now. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed, and hope you can even hear this audio. If not, well, I guess that's what your volume increase button is for. And I will see you next time.